Greetings. Welcome to the today's lecture on micro, small and medium enterprises and various schemes. So in this lecture we will study the various enterprises that can be initiated by the entrepreneur and what are all the various schemes provided by the local, state and central governments to support the entrepreneurs in their pursuit of new business. I am Dr. G. Shankara, Professor and Head of the Department, RR Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Contents of this lecture are introduction, characteristics of MSME, objectives of MSME, scope of MSME, role of MSME in economic development, advantages of MSME. Then we will study about the different schemes, different financial and non-financial institutions that provide help to the entrepreneurs. Now let us see the definition and introduction about the MSMEs. Business activities can also be classified according to the size or ownership on the following basis: based on their activity, based on the size and based on the ownership they can be classified. Here we will study about the size, based on size how they can be classified. So based on the size, whether a business is a small, medium or big, how it depends, how it varies on its size and volume. In India, it is often adjusted on the basis of the volume of the capital invested, whether an enterprise is large or small. So how much money is invested, capital, in the business. Based on that, the enterprises are classified in India as small or large. So according to the volume of capital invested, industries are categorized as micro, small scale, medium scale and large scale. So what are all these are all classified according to the MSME Act 2006. So if it is a manufacturing sector, investment in plant and machinery, if it does not exceed 25 lakh rupees, it is called as micro enterprise. If the investment is more than 25 lakh but does not exceed 5 crore rupees, it is called small enterprise. If the investment is more than 5 crores but does not exceed 10 crores, it is called as medium enterprise. This is for the manufacturing sector, because in manufacturing sector, heavy equipment, machinery, factory area, all these require a huge capital investment. Whereas in service sector, the amount to be invested under this classification is less compared to the manufacturing sector. So if the investment does not exceed 10 lakh rupees, it is called as micro. You see, in case of manufacturing, it is up to 25 lakhs. In case of service sector, up to 10 lakhs, it is called as micro enterprise. More than 10 lakh rupees but does not exceed 2 crores of rupees, it is called as small enterprise. And more than 2 crores but does not exceed 5 crores, it is called as medium enterprise. Beyond that, these are all called as a large enterprises. generally which is not supported by a new enterprise unless he got it by from his ancestry or from his family business. So what are all the characteristics of a MSME enterprises? Ownership of these units with one individual in sole proprietorship, or it can be with a few individuals in a partnership. Generally it with one individual or a small group of individuals will be owning the business. Management and control. So if there is only one single individual, he will be the actively managing the business also. If there is a small group, there will be one or two people actively managing the business, or even all the people may be involved at various roles in the running the business. The owner is actively involved in all the decisions concerning the business. Area of operation. Generally they cater to the local or regional demand. The overall resources at the disposal of such units are limited, and as a result of this it is forced to confine its activity to the local level. But if it is some of the units, they even export their products and services also. Technology. These are generally labor intensive, not much heavy equipment or heavy software, hardware, etc. are not much employed. Gestation period is generally small in this case compared to the large scale units. Flexibility is more. They can easily adapt to the change in the environment or in the business trends, the taste of the people, to the supply and demand. They can easily adapt because they are small scale. Resources. They generally employ the local or indigenous resources available within that state or within that district, like that. Dispersal of units. They are also located in the even villages, district headquarters, towns, rural areas, backward areas, all those places also these business can be located. So these are all the various characteristics of MSME. Then okay, why MSME is promoted? What are its objectives? Objectives are to create more employment opportunities with less investment, because they are basically a labor intensive. With less capital investment, you can provide more employment in a country like India, which is a highly populated country. To remove economic backwardness of rural and less developed regions of the country by establishing the industries in those areas. To reduce regional imbalances. They can be across all the states can be employ these industries. To mobilize and ensure optimum utilization of unexploited resources of the country. To improve standard of living of the people, because you are employing more people, you are providing job opportunities to many people, income opportunities, their standard of living can be increased. To ensure an equitable distribution of income and wealth. To solve unemployment problem. To attain self-reliance. To adapt latest technology aimed at producing better quality products at lower cost. So you can use the local available materials also and provide the employment and produce the goods at lower costs. These are the objectives of MSME, which is highly promoted by the governments, particularly in developing countries where the population is also very high. Scope. What is the scope? Means generally what are all the various types of products or services which can be encouraged, which are encouraged in MSME. There are a wide range of activities which require less sophisticated technology are generally promoted. Among them, important manufacturing activities, servicing activities, repairing activities, retailing activities, financial activities, wholesale business, construction activities, etc. Infrastructural activities like transportation, communication, etc. also promoted in MSME sector. But to again, some of these sectors can be come under large scale industries also can do business in the areas. To protect these MSMEs from the large scale industries, government has reserved some sectors for these industries like food industries, textile industries, leather products, rubber products, plastic products, natural essential oils, glass and ceramics, bicycle parts, truck body buildings, mathematical and survey instruments, sports goods. These are all some of the sectors which are specifically reserved for MSME enterprises. Okay, sir, government is promoting this MSME. They have provided reservation of certain items also for this sector. But why? How it plays an important role in the development of the economy of the country. Overall economic development of the country, how it will help? Let us see. The MSME sector contributes significantly to the Indian economy in terms of gross domestic products, exports, balance of payments, employment generation, etc. MSME are considered as growth engines in a context of Indian economy. MSME is going to be more efficient, providing more employment opportunities at a relatively lower cost. In 2015 and 16, the workers employed non-agriculture MSMEs in the country are 11.1 crores. And the employment intensity of MSME is estimated to be 4 times greater than that of large enterprises. Similarly, it has successfully reduced and resolved regional deficiencies and disparities. Large scale industries are located particularly in some states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, like that. Whereas this MSME sector is spread across entire country and help in reducing the disparities. During 2016, gross value added by the MSE is 31.8% and share of MSME related products in total export from India during 2018-19 is 48.1%. And 80% of the total industrial enterprises are creating more than 8,000 value added products. The most important contribution of MSME to the economic development is promoting the balanced economic development. While the large enterprises largely created the islands of prosperity in the ocean of poverty, they also contributed to the wealth, but it is located only in certain people, certain segments, certain areas, etc. Whereas MSME has helped in fulfilling the socialistic goals of providing equitable growth. It has helped in industrialization of rural and backward areas, thereby reducing regional imbalances, assuring more equitable distribution of national income. Small industries also help the large in industries by supplying them ancillary products. They also do the ancillary products business to the larger industries. So this is how MSME plays very important role in the economic development of a nation. Now let us see the advantages of MSME. There are several advantages of being an MSME. These include monetary as well as non-monetary advantages relating to trade and entrepreneurial development, as government is promoting and encouraging MSME, keeping in its significant role in the unemployment, reducing the unemployment, etc. So it has provided some advantages to the MSME sector, some benefits, some subsidies, some schemes. Mainly what are they? Priority lending. First MSME benefit is priority lending by the banks. Banks give first preference in their lending to the MSME sector. They have earmarked certain funds for that purpose. Fewer interest rates and availability and access to greater credit. The interest rates charged on the loans provided to MSME is relatively less compared to the other segments. Income tax exemption, holiday, income tax holiday. Government also provides tax holiday for MSME sector up to 4 to 5 years to promote the activities. Credit linked guarantee schemes also, or it is called CGTME, Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises, is established by the government to implement Credit Guarantee Fund scheme. This scheme allows collateral free loans up to 50 lakhs for individual MSMEs. Market assistance from the government and export promotion. The Government of India organizes several exchange programs, craft fairs, exhibitions and trade related events internationally. MSMEs have access to all of these platforms for international cooperation. Government also incentivizes the export of goods and services by MSMEs by way of subsidies, tax exemption and technical support. So these are all there are export promotion departments are there in the Government of India to promote such activities of the MSME. Then capital and other grants for infrastructure development. Grants are provided by the government. Reimbursement of ISO certification. To encourage ISO certification, which indicates the quality of the goods and services provided by any business, which is recognized throughout the world. So government, if any company gets the ISO certification, it is a bit expensive way. So it involves some expenses. So government reimburses that money to that company which got ISO certifications. Exclusive purchase and sheltering from the competition. So the goods provided by the MSME is sometimes exclusive if the other commercial industries or public are not buying. The government gives some minimum support to such goods, and also it shelters MSMEs from the competition for the large industries. Technology and quality upgradation support to MSMEs. Government also provides funds, technical assistance, loans, lease facilities, etc. Also helps in importing the heavy equipment and technology and upgradation of the technology, etc. So the government helps the MSMEs in various ways under all these means and methods. So to help MSMEs, like all these methods, like we have seen the priority lending, credit linked guarantee schemes, market assisting, export promotion, capital and other grants for infrastructure, exclusive purchases, technology and quality upgradation. For doing all these activities, governments at national and at state level has started various supporting exclusive organizations and departments for this purpose. We will see a few such financial and non-financial institutions which are supporting the providing various facilities to the MSME sector under the various advantages what we have seen above. One is TECSOK, TESOK, Technical Consultancy Services Organization of Karnataka. This is run by the Government of Karnataka, very famous for its support multidisciplinary management consultancy organization to promote the MSME sector. It provides assistance in consultancy services. Package includes feasibility studies, market research, valuation of assets, environment impact studies, energy management and audit, management studies like corporate plan, reorganization and restructuring of enterprises, manpower planning, budgetary control systems, mergers and acquisition, investment opportunities, technology transfers, diagnostic studies, and also designing and organizing training programs in all related areas of MSME. So it's a multidisciplinary consultancy organization for MSME. So anybody want to start MSME, if they go to this TESOC, they will provide them A to Z help, advice, suggestions at a single place, all the things, trainings. TESOC has been considered by the Government of Karnataka, Government of India, state and central financial institutions, commercial banks, Asian Development Bank, and a host of other institutions of government and private as the recognized consultancy agency. So it is a recognized across the various states, across various other international organizations like Asian Development Bank, etc. It is a recognized consultancy service. It is a powerhouse of expertise. So expertise in almost all the fields of business, technical, non-technical issues are available with the TESOC. TESOC partners with reputed national and multinational consultants, outsourcing expertise for professional synergy. They provide services to the other organizations. Also, they have understanding with expert houses to, in case expert their suggestions are required, they will get you the expert suggestions also. So these are all the various services provided by the TESOC. Location specific identification, which is suitable location for the starting the business, assistance in obtaining statutory and procedural clearances, whatever clearances is required from the governments, they will help you in getting that. Feasibility studies means what? Whether your project is going to get the break even, are you going to make the profits or not? So they will give you that feasibility study. Also they will conduct environmental impact studies to get the environmental clearance from the Department of Ministry of Environment. So all these things, project implementation, turnkey assistance, valuation of assets, manpower planning, budgetary control, so many things. Since its inception, TESOC has catalyzed a large number of industries throughout the Karnataka. Infrastructure development projects also it has helped. So it is a very prominent consultancy services in the state of Karnataka. Then another important organization is non-financial organization is KIADB, Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board. It is a statutory body of Karnataka formed in 1966 to promote rapid and orderly establishment and development of industries and for providing industrial infrastructural facilities and other amenities in industrial areas of the state. Vision is to provide world-class infrastructure and to take notice of Karnataka as the premier destination for their startups and ventures. So it want to make Karnataka as the main destination for new enterprises or any expansion activities across the globe to attract the investors. Its aims and objectives: promote rapid and orderly development of industries in the state, assist in implementation of policies of government within the purview of KIAD Act, facilitate in establishing infrastructure projects, and it functions on no profit, no loss basis. What are its functions? Acquire land and development industrial areas in the state. So whatever is land required for the industry development, the KIADB provides that. Provide basic infrastructure in the industrial areas. Once after acquiring the land, whatever basic infrastructure like power, water, roads, drainage, all those things will be provided by the banks, etc. Acquire land for single unit complexes. Acquire land for government agencies for their schemes, infrastructure projects like metro train project, metro rail project. All this land and other infrastructure development is done by the KADB. It has done almost 173 industrial areas. It has developed in the 30 districts of the state. Some of its projects, what are the facilities it provides along with the land. So whatever required for the industry like approach roads, internal roads, stormwater drains, power supply, street lighting, water supply, sewage treatment plant, technical training centers and R&D centers, hotels, hospitals, banks, post offices, everything whatever is required in that industrial area, that basic infrastructure is provided by the KADB. Housing also, whatever is housing required for the employees, labor. So some of the key projects done by the KADB are high-tech, defense and aerospace parks in the Bangalore near Kempegowda International Airport. It is developed in a land of 2,980 acres. Apparel Park, first and second phase in Doddaballapura. Narsapura Industrial Area. Textile Special Economic Zone in Hassan. Pharmaceutical SEZ in Hassan. Land acquisition for Namapetro project in Bangalore. Agrotech and food parks in Bagalkote, Malur in Koral district, Jawargi in Kalburgi district, Hiriyur in Chitradurga district. All these are developed, promoted and facilitated by the KADB. So many projects in Bangalore, Rajaji Industrial Area, Pina Industrial Area, and so many software projects, software buildings they have provided. Tech parks, so many tech parks, etc. Next, KISSIDC. This is another prominent industrial supporting body in the Karnataka state. Karnataka State Small Industries Development Corporation. It is established in 1960. Registered office is in Bengaluru. Company framed comprehensive and well-defined memorandum of association and articles of association, which permit the defined corporation to take up any activity aimed at the rapid development of small-scale industry. Corporation's principal objective is to promote and develop small industries in the state. To provide assistance to develop MSME sector in the state is the main objective of MSME. Construction and utilization of infrastructure, especially in backward areas, procurement and marketing of raw materials. So it also helps in not only infrastructure development, it also helps in procuring the raw materials, marketing of the raw materials, technical support, procuring the equipment, procuring the technology, upgradation of technology. These are all various other activities. History. It was first started in 1960 as Mysore Small Industries Corporation. Then later named as Karnataka State Small Industries Corporation, KSSIDC. It started with a initial share capital of 10 lakhs. So its services are establishment management of industrial estates, procurement distribution of raw materials, assistance towards marketing, dissemination of information by the participating in internal and external international exhibitions. It conducts exhibitions and also it provides help for the small industries to participate in these exhibitions in India and abroad. Supply of machinery under hire purchase scheme. Because small industry may not be able to buy the heavy equipment with their own funds, so this corporation buys them and provide on hire and lease basis to the small industries. Providing guidance to SSI entrepreneurs, technical and managerial consultancy services it provides. Providing technical library facilities. So it has also done so many projects like 177 developed industrial estates throughout the state in almost all districts and talukas. It has industrial sheds, flats, godowns and shops it has developed. The prominent projects are developed provided BEL, ITI, HEIL, NGEF, BHEL, BEML, VISL and Mysore LAMS. So it has helped in establishing these public sector units. Company as a nodal agency for coordination with Indian Standard Institution to set up a laboratory. So ISA laboratory for product testing is established in Kenya with the help of KSSID. So it caters to the testing facilities of engineering, chemical, electrical, electronics and other similar areas. The company is extending necessary assistance for organizing entrepreneurial development programs, training programs, etc. So these are all the various services provided by the Karnataka State Small Scale Industries Development Corporation, KSSIDC. These are all non-financial institutes. District Industries Center. So as we see, MSME is spread throughout the country, even in rural and backward areas. But to establish in those areas, to get the permissions, to get the raw materials, to get the technology, to get the human resources, it is not easy. And they cannot come for all these things to the state capital all the time, the entrepreneurs. So to cater to the needs of the entrepreneurs at the village and town level and backward areas, so the government has provided officers at district level to help them. Such scheme is District Industries Center. It is an institution established at the district level so as to provide them to set up small and village industries there. It is DIC program was initiated in 1st May 1978 as a centrally sponsored scheme. Before the setting up of DIC, a prospective entrepreneur has to go to several agencies. Many of them are far from his district in order to get the necessary assistance and facilities. This caused considerable delay, waste of time and money. It was discouraging to start businesses in the rural and backward areas. So to remove that hurdle, to overcome that barrier, government has started this District Industries Center scheme. So now suitable powers have been delegated by the several departments of the state government to the District Industries Center. Thus, the entrepreneur can get all the assistance he needs from a single agency itself as a DIC. Objectives are accelerate the overall efforts for industrialization of the district, to develop the district as a industrial hubs, rural industrialization and development of rural industries and handicrafts, attainment of economic equality in various regions of the district, providing the benefits of the government schemes to the new entrepreneurs, centralization of procedures required to start new industrial unit and minimization of the efforts and time required to obtain various permissions, licenses, registrations, subsidies, etc. at the local district level. That is the main objective of the DIC. So to support these objectives, various functions of DIC are listed here. It prepares an industrial profile of the district with respect to the statistics and information about the existing industrial units in the district, the large, medium, small, whatever the industries are working, it will have a complete data. Then organizing market outlets in liaison with other government agencies, provide guidance, manpower assessment with respect to skilled, semi-skilled, and also it can provide what are all the available in the nearby areas. Entrepreneurial development programs, assessment of availability of infrastructure facilities in the area. What are the infrastructure facilities available? Like quality testing, research, development, transport, prototype development, warehouse, etc. It gives SSI registration. Even it can be registered at the district level, only registration can be done. Advises the entrepreneurs on investments. Prepares techno-economic feasibility reports for the MSME sector for starting new businesses. Implements government schemes for educated unemployed people like PMRY scheme, Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, etc. Helps entrepreneurs in obtaining licenses from electricity board, water supply board, no objection certificates, etc. Assist the entrepreneur to procure imported machinery and raw materials. Even helping procuring the raw materials. So these are all the various functions of the district industries center. Next agency or next scheme is single window agency. Single window system is being implemented in several states for trade facilitation. It enables the individual to set up their enterprise by submitting regulatory documents at a single location or a single entity. So whatever regulations, permissions like water, electricity, then environmental clearances, then manpower clearances, then license for importing the material, license for exporting, all these things earlier entrepreneurs used to roam around various departments to get it. So it was a lot of waste of money and energy. So government has decided to remove that problem so that a single department can handle all the statutory permissions, even the loans required, the financial assistance required, the consultancy services required, everything at a single office. That is called a single window agency. The key objective of single window agency is to ensure time bound processing of applications and issue of clearances by various departments of the state for establishing and for services that are required during normal course of business. So all the applications related to the various licenses, permissions are collected at a single office and they process it to the various departments and obtains permission from those departments, again pass it to the entrepreneur in the same office. Some of the key features of the single window agency are single point acceptance and electronic distribution of applications to the respective competent authorities without need for the applicants to physically visit the offices. So even now it has taking up the application electronically, so the entrepreneur need not physically go to the office. Customer generation of forms for individual competent authorities along with requisite attachments. So various data required for permission etc. can be uploaded also in the electronic form, need not go to the office. Single point of capture of information with the feature of auto population of data. Online approval by the concerned competent authorities and provision to download the certificate online. So permissions and renewals, licenses can be downloaded online. Online tracking, automatic alerts to applicants through SMS, emails. Even the information where the application is standing, what is the status of application, when you will get the permission, everything will be provided in the tracking facilities are provided online and SMS alerts also are generated. customized online MIS supports, management information system supports for monitoring at different levels. Provision for the applicant to raise grievances online through single window portal. Even the grievances they are facing about the delay in getting the permissions, queries, corruption, any other issues they have, they can raise the grievance also online without going to the offices. So all these things are provided to encourage the and to attract the entrepreneurs into their states. Almost all state governments have now adopted the single window agency system. Next is SISI, Small Industries Service Institutes. Its name is changed now to MSME. Earlier it was SISI, now is Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Institutes. MSME Development Institutes. These are set up in each state to provide consultancy and training to small and prospective entrepreneurs. The activities of SISI are coordinated by the Industrial Management Training Division of the Development Commissioner, New Delhi. In all the districts there is one, and more branches are there in the main cities. Functions, it is a non-financial institute. It won't give any loans. It will give you the consultancy, expertise and training services. To assisting existing and prospective entrepreneurs through technical and managerial counseling, conducting entrepreneur development programs, then help in selecting appropriate machinery, appropriate equipment, adoption of recognized standards of testing, quality, performance, etc. To advise the central and state governments on policy matters relating to small industry development. They also advise the governments, they inform the government about the state of development, they provide the up-to-date information. Also, they advise the government to further how to boost the MSME activities in the various states. To provide market information to the SISI. To recommend SSIs for financial assistance from financial institutions. They won't provide the financial assistance, but if they recommend the MSMEs for the financial, and if they recommend, getting the loan is easy. To enlist entrepreneurs for participation in government store purchase program. Participation in the government store purchase program, they enlist the entrepreneurs. Conduct economic and technical surveys and also prepare techno-economic feasibility reports for selected areas and industries. Then NSIC, National Small Industries Corporation. This is established by the government in 1995 as a public sector company with a view to promoting, aiding, fostering the growth of MSMEs in the country with focus on commercial aspects of their operation. This is another scheme, another institute, another organization started by the government to promote the MSME sector, particularly to help the MSMEs in their commercial activities. NSIC implements rural schemes to help MSMEs in the areas of raw material procurement, product marketing, credit rating, acquisition of technology, adoption of improved management practices. So all these commercial, technical, economical consultancy and activities are supported by the NSIC. Its main functions are provide machinery on hire purchase schemes to small scale industries, provide equipment leasing facility, help in export marketing of the products of small scale industries, participate in bulk purchase programs of the government, develop prototype of machines and equipments, distribute basic raw materials among small scale industries, help in development upgradation of technology, implementation of modernization programs, impart training in various industrial trades, undertake the construction of industrial estates. So these are all the various. This is also another non-financial institute. So except providing the financial assistance in all other activities, it provides helps to the small scale industries and MSME sector. Next is SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Now we will come to the financial institutions which provide finance as well as other consultancy services to the MSME sector. In that, prominent is SIDBI, Small Industrial Development Bank of India. It was set up in 2nd April 1990 under an Act of Indian Parliament to promotion, financing and development of the micro, small and medium enterprise sector, as well as coordination of functions of institutes engaged in similar activities. It is headquartered in Lucknow, having its offices all over the country in all the states. Its purpose is to provide refinance facilities and short-term lending to industries. So whatever form of finance is required, whether it is a new investment or whether it is a short-term finance, whether it is for a capital investment, whether it is a working capital requirement, whether it is a refinancing, whether it is for a modernization, whether it is for an expansion, whether it is a brownfield project, greenfield, whatever form the finance is required, it is provided by the SIDBI. Objectives are to promote marketing of products of small scale sector, to upgrade technology and also undertake modernization of small scale units, to provide more financial assistance to small ancillary and tiny sector. Ancillary and tiny sector means they provide the required materials and services to the larger industries. For example, they provide some bolts, nuts or seats, batteries, etc. required for the manufacturing of cars. Then car factory will assemble them. Like that, whatever is required, that is called ancillary units. They help them also to coordinate all other institutes involved in the promotion of small scale industry. Then what are its schemes, how it will provide? It provide all types of finance, refinance. It refinances loans and advances provided by the existing lending institutions to the small scale units. So if any small scale unit is taken money from some other commercial bank or non-banking financial institute or from some other lender at higher rates, it can be refinanced by the SIDBI at lower rates. Discounting bills. It discounts and rediscounts bills arising from sale of machinery to and manufactured by small scale industrial units. Seed capital it provides, soft loan, like under various schemes, National Equity Fund, Mahila Ujjam Nidhi, Mahila Vikas Nidhi, and seed capital means to start the initial capital required for the businesses. Refinance for exports. Exports also, export industries provide grants, etc. Loans extended by the primary lending institutions for financing exports. Factoring services provides services like factoring, leasing, etc. to small units. Financial support to SSIC, to the State Small Industries Corporation. So financial institutes are there across the various states, also supported by the state governments to help the MSME sector. So SIDBI provides financial grants to those state level institutes. Assistance to NSIC, National Small Industries Corporation, financial assistance is provided by the SIDBI. Setting up of incubation centers. So whatever is the initial, all the business cannot start in their own buildings, with their own equipment, with their own facilities. So till it is take off, the facilities will provided by the governments. Such a scheme is called incubation center. So SIDBI helps in setting up of incubation centers. Financing projects related to transport, related to health, etc. So it provides financial institute all schemes, benefits, custom made and dedicated size. So for each to suit the each individual entrepreneur, it has a scheme, customized scheme, and size also. There is no question of how much required, what is this size won't fit into our bill, nothing like that. It has a dedicated size. Rates of interest are very attractive. Not only assistance, not only provides loan, but other consultancy services also it provides. It provides subsidies, and it is a transparent organization. Now everything is done in the online also, so there is a less scope for corruption and delay and hidden charges, etc. So that is the role of SIDBI in MSME sector. It is actually a branch of subsidiary of Industrial Development Bank of India. It is a financial institute to support the industries in India. Then the last is Karnataka State Financial Corporation. Karnataka State Financial Corporation is a state level financial institution established by the state government in the year 1959 to meet mainly the long term financial needs of small and medium enterprises, SMEs, in the state of Karnataka. So this is a financial institute to support the MSMEs at the state level. Every state has such a institute. So such an institute in Karnataka is called Karnataka State Financial Corporation. It is having almost 60 years of existence, and it is the first state financial corporation, SFC, having ISO certification. It has contributed most significantly for the growth of MSMEs, backward area development and promotion of first generation women and scheduled caste and scheduled tribe entrepreneurs. So all these people are got help from KSFC. So it has its functions are provides purpose of assistance to all activities like new fixed assets for expansion, modernization, diversification, working capital requirements, etc. Areas of operation covers entire state of Karnataka, and all the business activities are covered. Network, it has at a very district level, then it has regional offices and head offices at Bangalore. So it provides the financial services like long-term loans, working capital term loans, corporate loans to meet short-term working capital needs, letter of credit to import capital goods, to all types of industrial and service sectors. Limit of accommodation. The maximum minimum loan that would be availed by various categories is also prescribed. It mentions what are all the maximum and minimum limits. Sanction and disbursement powers are even given to the branch offices. They need not come to the everything for the Bangalore office. Let us see some of the eligible activities to get the financial assistance from the KSCs. Almost all activities are covered. You see, manufacture, preservation, processing of goods, mining, power generation, transportation, industrial estates, hotels, restaurants, research and development of any product, process connected to industry, wave bridge facilities, drilling rig facilities, mining activities, construction of roads, entertainment activities, software and hardware services, microfinance activities, diesel generators, mobile generators, market related activities, training institutes, office automation, service industry, biotech industries, qualified professionals to serve business enterprise in their line of expertise like doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, wineries, windmills, solar projects are few. Everything are provided financial assistance by the KSFC. So these are all the various schemes or institutes supporting the MSME sector in the country by the various state and central governments, either in the form of financial assistance or in the form of consultancy services, promoting the marketing facilities, etc. So in this lecture we have studied about the MSME sector, which is the backbone for the new entrepreneurs, and various schemes that support the entrepreneurs in the MSME sector.